And this is where it gets really subtle. And so little t trauma is when something good should have happened to you, but it doesn't. So big T trauma is when something bad happens to you. Little t trauma is the absence of something good happening to you. So a child should be loved unconditionally. A child should be accepted for who they are. A child should connect. A child should be able to be authentic, but they're not able. Their emotional needs are not being met. That's trauma. That's little t trauma. That's the result of neglect. It seems invisible because you go, nothing bad happened to me. But to your nervous system and your brain, terrible stuff is happening, because what is happening inside the child who is feeling that my needs are not being met, I'm not being accepted, I am being not, nobody wants to connect with me, is must be my fault. I must be a terrible person. Now I'm afraid that anybody that gets to know me is going to reject me and abandon me, and I feel all alone. I can't connect with anybody. It just feels like it's me against the big bad world. So now they feel in fear all the time, even though there's potentially not a lot of scary stuff happening, but they just feel totally alone in the world. So what we know is that over 80% of people in the world have this little t type of trauma. But most go, well, nothing bad happened to me, so I must not have trauma. But little t trauma affects the nervous system just as badly as big T trauma. And it actually, because if it's ongoing, what begins to happen, and now we come to the next thing, is if it happens to a child, fight or flight, which is the normal responses of how you get away from danger, is you either run away or you defeat it. Those no longer work, because you need these people in your life to meet your needs. So you're too little to fight them and you're too little to run away. So now you go to freeze, you dissociate. So instead of escaping to an external world, you now escape to an internal world where you feel safe. But also then you fawn, you now have to learn how to get these people that you don't want to connect with you, that are judging you, that are not accepting you, seeing you, hearing you. How do you get them to meet your needs? So now you learn to be whatever they want you to be. You learn to people please. You learn to wear masks. You learn to be sensitive to their beliefs, their moods, their needs. And you think, if I can just take care of them, then maybe they'll take care of me. So a child then is basically adapting in hundreds of different ways to become what others want them to be, to try to get their needs met, to try to get love, to try to get respect, to try not to get hurt. And so adaptation after adaptation in order to survive. But what they don't realize is that those adaptations, which enabled them to survive and got some of their needs met. Well, think of some of those adaptations. You don't trust anybody. You got to manipulate in order to get your needs met. You wear masks all the time. You never say no. You people please. 20, 30 years later, you're now in a relationship, committed relationship. You have kids. If you live off of those same adaptations, you destroy your relationships. You hurt the people that you love, and you hurt yourself. So those adaptations now become evident as maladaptations. But the problem is, complex trauma in a child, you don't see the results till 20, 30 years later, that this is a big issue. This is not working. This is causing problems. And so that's basically a quick overview